3 days ago, Good obviously announced that Kwon was leaving the group. Now, I'm a little surprised, impressed, but surprised, because their goal really seemed to keep this as like low drama as possible, and I think they very well succeeded. Their video right here, obviously it was a match with Luke. It wasn't just an hour and 35-minute long podcast, but they talked about it at the beginning. They addressed it all. A couple speculations, obviously, from people. Oh, this person didn't talk. Ooh, this person didn't talk. Maybe there's drama, whatever. Luke came out on his channel, obviously posted a video 2 days ago as well. The real reason why I left Good, which has about half the views as Good's video, in which he basically just said all the same stuff. He talked a little bit more about his journey and how he got to where he is. He addressed specifically in this video, which I thought was kind of interesting, about a comment that he was seeing and he really wanted to tack onto. This was really the only thing I thought was interesting. Remember, Luke, if you're thinking about leaving Good, they made you. That's an interesting one. It's an interesting one for him to just bring up out of the blue and discuss, because that's a very hater comment, and Luke knows that's not true. Any of us who have followed YouTube well for a long time know it's not true in its entirety, meaning that Luke didn't come into Good with no social presence at all. Like, however, Good absolutely blew him up, obviously. The collabs with GM Golf at the beginning, very similar to what's going on with Brad right now, and then also being in the Good videos, but they didn't make him. I just a funny aside. I thought it was interesting they talked about that. That was the only thing, like that comment, little dramatic around the whole thing, but realistically, I mean, my video I made about him was like so shockingly underperformed, just in like interest. Like I didn't make it salacious. I could have really like made it a little more edgy. I could have added a little pizzazz to the title thumbnail, but I kept it really simple. Kwon has left Good, and I just reacted to it because honestly, like, we had talked about it before. It happened. They made it very clear that there wasn't any drama. They weren't looking for drama. I personally can't sniff anything that could have been like wrong, so I kept it very simple. But the interest in Luke leaving was even less than I thought, and not in a negative way, in a good way. Like, it's not, people are only interested if they think there's like smoke fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. If they think there's drama. So, but anyways, what I wanted to talk about today, one of the things that came out of my video was this comment, and a lot of similar comments on this video, on other videos, DMs to me, essentially around, do you think Garrett is the next one to go? Do you think Garrett is looking at what Kwon is now able to do? Like, Kwon, personal channel, 238,000 subscribers. He puts out videos, a couple videos a week, hundreds of thousands of views, just him playing golf courses, which is more than enough to make a comfortable living, to travel the world, to be able to do all these incredible things. And he's obviously only going to grow from here. His collaborative videos he has coming out do great. But then you look at someone who did what Kwon did a year ago, and really I think is like close to a one-of-one example. But Grant Horvath, we've talked about this guy a bajillion times, 600,000 subscribers. He has, if you take him video to video against any other solo creator right now, he blows them all out of the water. He is the biggest, most lightning in a bottle, lightning rod channel going right now. He can compete with the Goods and the Bob Does Sports on per video views on his own. It's absolutely incredible. So you see what this guy did, and I think a lot of people are wondering, hey, if GM Golf went off on his own and did his own thing, could he achieve something similar? Could he live a much less busy life, I guess, and be able to create on his own? Listen, there's a couple sides to this thing. I mean, I think a lot of the comments for people would, kind of disagree with this general statement that Garrett wishes he could leave Good, because he could. Like, he could. I don't think there's anything holding him to it other than the fact that, like, he really built Good. Like, Garrett is Good. Garrett, to me, and I think a lot of people, is like, he was the initial idea. Like, it was him and his GM Golf channel that first really sparked this whole thing. And I would assume that Garrett feels just as much connection to the Good channel as he does his personal channel, and I think that probably goes for Bubby and Matt and all these guys who have been incredibly loyal, Steve, incredibly loyal throughout the years to Good and really have dedicated their lives towards it. Like, all of those guys could have much easier lives, and I believe me, I get that this is a champagne problems type thing. I get it. But all I'm saying is, like, pretend they're doing anything else. It doesn't matter what job you can pretend they're doing, what job you're doing. They would have an opportunity to work 50 to 40% of the hours, 60% less hours if they just did their own personal channels and not good. Now the upside would probably be lower, but I'm telling you, all these guys could probably make pretty comfortable livings, or at least for sure GM Golf can make a very comfortable living just on his own personal channel. But these guys all stay incredibly loyal to Good because it's something they built. And I think they all feel, those 4 guys, including Garrett, feel a level of like personal connection to Good's channel that they would also feel to their own personal channels. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting conversation. Would Garrett be the next one to do it? Because obviously out of those 4, he for sure has the biggest individual following. He has the biggest personal channel. GM Golf is by subscribers, the second largest like playing YouTube golf. You gotta remember, when I talk about these channels, I'm only talking about people who, do matches and stuff like that. I'm not talking about instructional based content. He's the second largest personal channel next to Rick Shields by subscribers. And I think probably the only reason he's not able to compete at a super high level of views right now is because he can't put the time and effort into it. And I think the only thing separating Garrett from being able to get to that point is probably the time and attention to invest, to come up with the ideas, to do all the things that you would need to do on that level, because I think a lot of that ideation obviously goes in to Good, which is really Garrett's other personal channel. So I could see why people would think that, especially after seeing what happened with Grant, that Garrett would leave. But I mean, I agree in twofold. One, I agree that if Garrett left Good, that would be a problem. Like that, to me, if Garrett was to leave Good, the only way that would happen is if Good was just like not a thing anymore. Like if they were like, we're not making YouTube videos anymore. Because again, I think Garrett is DNA to Good, just like Bubby, just like Matt, just like Steve. These guys are so core DNA that really, if any of them left, I can't see it being for any reason other than like Good is disbanding. The band's not together anymore, and I need a new apparel sponsor. Like that's the only thing I can see happening, because I think those guys are all so core and so loyal to the group, and I think the group is theirs. And so I don't foresee it ever happening. Honestly, I don't foresee Garrett ever just like being like, I'm leaving Good, because I think that would just mean the end of Good, not because he's the whole thing, but just because he's so intrinsically invested and has been for so many years. It would not make any sense for him to step away. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like I said, this is just one comment, but there's 20 of them, plus a ton of DMs from you guys asking me about this. Really, ever since I've been talking about Grant and kind of his explosion in the last year, a lot of people have said, why doesn't Garrett do this? Why isn't Garrett's channel like this? And so I wanted to kind of touch on it. Let me know your thoughts on it all in the comments below. Have a great Friday. I'll see you in the next one.